Hey ladies, welcome to another episode of To the Core, my Friday episode of Revitalized Womanhood podcast. I have made it to the last core category. December, we were focusing on our core categories, thinking about our goals that we had for ourselves in 2022 and the goals that we're going to be setting for ourselves going forward into 2023. How did you do? Have you been reflecting on this? Have you been thinking about this? Has anything I've been saying having any kind of impact on you whatsoever? If it has, could you please rate and review my episode and let me know and let them know, so that the more ratings and reviews I have, the further along in the what do we call it? I don't know, in podcast land. They're gonna push my podcast out to a bigger audience, right? So this message is going to go further if I get more ratings and reviews. I do not muck up my episodes with ads or sponsored ads because right now luckily I don't need them. And I would rather get you the information that you need rather than sell a mattress to you in the middle of my podcast episode. So for now, if you could help me by rating and review, that would be amazing. If you can help me by screenshotting, sharing to your Instagram, just get the word out, get my name out there, anything that resonates with you, or if something clicks and you're like, you know what, I know someone that needs to hear this, pass it along. Send them the link to the podcast episode. I would really, really appreciate it, ladies. Okay, so today we've made it to our fourth core category, biz. Business, but it's biz. So belief spawns body biz. Biz category is one that I feel I say this about all of them. I feel so passionate about it, but really this one just resonates with me so much because stay-at-home moms instantly shut down and ignore me when I start talking about business or living like you own a business, because they don't, right? They don't own a business. They don't go to work. They don't have a job. Wrong. Wrong-o, ladies, okay? We know the job of motherhood and housewife is the hardest job on the planet. I'm not just saying that now from my own experience. I get to hear it from my husband's perspective. I get to hear it from his side. Today, which this is a couple weeks off, but today we had a full-on fight, and we've been in a funk. We've actually been in a funk the last couple days. I thought everything was fine. He's starting to feel, I shouldn't say I know how he feels. I shouldn't talk for him. I'm starting to think that he is feeling stagnant. He's noticing that when you're at home with the kids, with the baby, looking around the house, like, what is my purpose? What are my goals? What are my plans? What am I doing other than watching this baby and feeding him and changing his diaper? I mean, what am I doing? Now, I will preface that with women. We know, because we have this more nurturing, we brought this baby into this world. We created that life. That is our purpose. That is our impact, right? We created a human being. He doesn't get to feel that way. So he doesn't get to have the connection with a stay-at-home role the same as what we would, because it's not the same. It's just naturally, the difference between men and women is obviously naturally in our DNA different. Women nurture, create life, right? Create an atmosphere of, I wish I had it pulled up right here real quick. But anyway, I'll try to pull it up while I'm talking about this other thing. But men, they naturally need adventure. They naturally need hard work. They naturally need, and it's actually been, what's it called? Oh my gosh, you guys, what's it called? What's the word? Evolved. They've evolved away from this hard work and these adventures, right? hundreds of years ago, to survive as a man, you had to work on a ship crossing a huge ocean, or you had to, I have no idea what, you had to fight in all the wars. There were so many wars thousands of years ago. I don't know what you had to do, right? But it was like every day was life or death. You had to survive. It wasn't, I go to the office, I drive my Tesla, my car that literally drives itself, to an office where I sit and type on a computer that basically does everything for me, right? I mean, think about that. That is such a wild force playing against their natural instincts. So now to have him at home taking care of the baby and doing these things, I totally understand. I totally understand where he's coming from. And I think he maybe doesn't recognize it, but I see it and I see what's going on. He's feeling stagnant. So let me look up the meaning of this. I want to look it up because I named the network where the Revitalized Sisterhood is housed. I named it something. So the reason this brings me back to women, we feel comfortable in the home more than a man, obviously. Yes, we are allowed to feel stagnant. Yes, that happens. When we become lazy, when we become complacent, when we become stagnant, that's our own fault. So this is why the biz category comes into play. However, so I wanted to go back to this, the meaning of the hearth. So I named where my Revitalized Sisterhood is housed, I named it the hearth for this reason. The symbolism of the hearth provides warmth and light, food and protection, symbolizes love, fertility, and life, related with the masculine fire and the feminine receptacle, which I did not need to keep reading. Anyway, hospitality and sanctuary go along with the feelings of protection. Could that not be more perfect? The symbolism of that with a woman in the home is spot on. I don't even know how I came up with it, how I stumbled across it. The universe brought it to me. The symbolism in the word and the meaning of the hearth is just a woman, right? The heart of the home, okay? So when I talk about business, the biz category with women who are stay-at-home moms, they kind of, their eyes glaze over and they ignore me and they shut down. But ladies, that is not true. You are the CEO of your home, right? I have said it so many times. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I will never stop. I'm sorry. So if you haven't accepted this yet, maybe I will say something this time that will trigger something differently in your brain, and it will land where it needs to land, because you are the CEO. Your husband might be the CFO. You are the CEO. What that means is you should be running this home, your family, like a business, like a well-run business, okay? So if you think in terms of, okay, where was I before all this started? I was a housewife. I was a stay-at-home mom, right? I did some things, other things, but mostly, I mean, the majority of my time, I was a housewife and stay-at-home mom. I did not use a planner, did not. And some of you that are already doing this, you are awesome. You're ahead of the game. I'm not saying this is everyone, right? This is not everyone, obviously. This is my experience, what I've learned from it. Hopefully it finds the people who need to hear it. Using a planner needs to be something that is required of every woman, of every household. And I was talking to one of my members today about it, and she says, I'm not good at that. I haven't done it. I'm out of practice. I'm not in the practice of doing it. And I showed her this planner that I bought in July when I started this, before the podcast started. And I showed her August. The month of August is completely blank, right? I know I had things going on. I was recording podcasts. So I know I was starting this business. I was getting ready to launch the sisterhood. That planner should have been full, right? But I was out of practice. I wasn't doing it. So then you flip, and a couple pages in and a couple pages in, it gets more and more and more and more. And so my December, it's covered. It's more black and highlight than it is white, right? So I'm utilizing this planner. So not only for, what did I talk about for the bonds, right? Last 2 Fridays ago, I talked about the bonds, right? So prioritize what's important to you. Prioritize what's most important to you. So the things that are going to go into this planner are the time slots that you want to fill with the most important things. So you're going to put date with husband, or take your kids somewhere, or family activity, or whatever, right? Whatever you're prioritizing, that goes in first. Thank you, Ed Milet. I will never forget that. That goes in first, and then fill it in with other stuff. Then as things start happening, my next thing after family is maybe girls' night out, or I encourage Rick to have a guys' night out. So that needs to go in the planner too, right? Even though this isn't his planner, it needs to go in my planner. So I know I've got the kids, right? Or if it's date night, I know I have to get a babysitter. This planner should always be open. Always. Always, always. Somewhere that in the middle of the house, wherever the center of your home is, most people it's the kitchen, right? Or the living room. It should always be somewhere where you can see it, your husband can see it. Like, why not? That's just one more step in organization. So along with that, you need to be, after you fill in your things that you've prioritized for your bonds category, right? You need to be daily putting down what you're doing, your to-do list, right, for the day. And this is a little plug. I do have my Revitalized Womanhood Planner coming out. It will ship to me. Actually, I'm so excited. It's supposed to either ship today or Monday. I cannot wait. So I'm going to be starting to push that and launch that. However, I have it so that every single day of the week is a habit tracker. Every single day of the week, you can track how much water you drink. You can track what you're feeling that day, because you got to check in on that kind of stuff. If your husband sees that little frowny face on there, maybe he understands that little red frowny face means don't push it today, bubs. Okay. It's not that day, not today. Right. Anyway, you've got your to-do list and you can check them off. You can track it. It's a daily tracking device. Are you getting things done? Well, guess what? If you didn't get some things done today, they go on the next page. It rolls right over into the next page. How much more simple can it get? You just have to make the commitment to do it. You have to build the habit to do it, right? I have a highlighter. I use color coding my brain when I had my 7 vacation rentals. How did I keep those all organized? How did I keep the dates organized? Colors. This unit was a red unit. This condo was the blue unit. This one was the pink unit. I had one of those little 4 colored pens, with the 4 colors around it. And that's what I used until we started getting more. And then I was like, okay, now I need a bigger pen. So color code it, right? When you're writing things in, get one of those little pens. All right. So my favorite part, checking things off, right? Matthew McConaughey says it perfectly. He says the best part of a to-do list is when you get to cross it off, right? Something happened. You actually completed a task today. So set attainable goals for yourself. Don't make this like, I need to read an entire book today. Are you kidding me? No, that can go in your monthly notes. Read a book this month, right? It does not need to go on your daily tracker. So maybe read a chapter. That's legitimate, right? You want to read a chapter. So with your planner, you're filling things in. Like, I love that Matthew McConaughey said, drink my cup of coffee on there. Wear my favorite t-shirt today. Things that you just get to cross off, especially when you're building the habit of writing things in, it will just come. I promise you. It's been a couple months for me and now it's overflowing. There's plenty of things in here. Rick will tell you he is a list maker. So he's really good at that. I'm just getting into it. It's like flexing your muscles, right? You've let these muscles atrophy. So now you need to work these muscles out again, right? It's a practice. All right. Utilizing the planner, also checking things off, but also time blocking, right? So we're obviously, as women, we have times of the month when we are super productive. I'll call it productive, right? We're productive. We feel good. We feel energized. We have that. There are times in the month we do not feel this way. Obviously, we all know those times of the month when we are just like, today's a dark day. So guess what? On those days, maybe don't schedule anything. Maybe don't schedule a lot of stuff. Don't schedule PTA. Don't schedule you'll help out in your kid's classroom. Don't schedule, right? These are days when you get to just sit and watch Netflix today. Okay? I'm giving you permission. I'm giving you permission to not feel like a failure if you're just going to sit and watch Netflix for a day. Guess what? Tomorrow it means you'll have 2 days worth of to-dos to do, but that day, it's fine. You get to watch Netflix today. So time blocking kind of plays into that, where I know before I get out of bed in the morning, before the rest of the house wakes up, I like to get up and get my coffee and get back in bed. And that's when I do my very first Instagram post for the Revitalized Womanhood Instagram. I have to get it done. If I don't get it done right then, while I'm just chill, relax, that's when my little brain juices are flowing, right? I can write something that's actually resonating or needing to come out of me, right? I have that. I'm not, the chaos of the day hasn't bogged me down yet. So time blocking, I know that that's the time of day that needs to get done. Maybe something different for you. For me, then I go to the gym, and after the gym, I know I should be time blocking something that needs to be like go, 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 because I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of creativity. I have like a motivation to get things done. Whereas in the afternoon, I start slowing down, right? Okay, so I don't want to be doing lots of things, like maybe folding the laundry while the baby's taking a nap. That is a great one. You don't want all the noise. You don't want the vacuum going. You don't want, moms think about these kinds of things. So anyway, you do you, figure out what works for you, but time blocking. All right, let's move on to time management. This rolls into that perfectly because you are the CEO. As a CEO, would you be okay with someone sitting around? I know this is coming back to sitting around watching Netflix, but it's not one of those days. That CEO is okay with you taking that sick day. Anyway, honestly, if you get up, get the kids out the door to school or whatever you do, and then you just hang out in your pajamas, watching TV, okay, this is hard for a lot of people that even work from home. Okay, I'm hoping some of these are triggering to some of those women as well. If you're working from home, get up, do your hair, do your makeup, and get dressed. That should be a habit that you just do. Hey, I was not doing it. I'm going to be the first one to tell you. Everyone knows that I come from pure imperfection where I was wearing leggings, Uggs, hair up in a top knot. I still come back to that. It's fine. Bad habit. Okay. What are you saying to your husband that he comes home and sees you still in your pajamas, your hair's not done, you don't have any makeup on? I mean, that's not going to be good for A, your self-care, B, your marriage. Your husband's going to be like, oh, that's attractive, right? I'm not saying you have to be a fashion model every day. I'm not. Put some mascara on. I do not leave the house without mascara. That might be as far as I get that day, but at least it's something you feel fine. You're not wearing your same clothes that the baby flinged mashed potatoes at you on that you were wearing earlier in the night or something. Okay. Time management. So we're going to make sure that we are productive, right? That we are, if you're out of your pajamas and you're in your clothes, you're not going to feel like just sitting on the couch and watching TV, drinking your coffee. Okay. You're going to be ready for the day. So then you can start looking at, okay, here's my list. Do I need to go to the grocery store today? Do I need to get the housework done today? Do I need to get, right? And if it's the housework, okay, well, now you need to strategize how you're going to do that. Are you going to start with bathrooms? Are you going to start with kitchen? Are you going to start with floors? So everything needs to be in one room so that you can start in the other room, right? You have to strategize. This is all time management. This is all being the CEO of your home. This is what it's about. Okay, good habits, right? So time management, maybe moving into reading a nonfiction book every month. That is going to help you flex those muscles, right? Put your brain in perspectives that you would not have otherwise. When you're at home, this is, again, working moms and stay-at-home moms. But for stay-at-home moms, this is a big thing. We lose the ability to communicate with adults. right? It's a joke, but it's not a joke. When I first started this podcast, I was super scared, and I still get intimidated, but I was very scared of not being able to sound educated, not being able to have conversation with people who have been out in the business world, out in the coaching world, out in the, these are the people that I want to bring to you. These are the interviews I want to bring to you because I want them to be tools that help you. So I have to be able to be the catalyst for that. I have to be able to ask the right questions. And that is hard. That is hard for women who are struggling with mom brain, who have not flexed those intelligence muscles, I guess, right? I'm listening to Bluey all day. So, these are not intelligent conversations I'm having. So it is a habit. It's just like anything. It's a habit. So remember I'm actually a fan. I know 75 Hard is against this. They like you to read the actual book, and I love that. However, because I did have a member bring this up, that she's in training to become a squad leader, a team leader, and she kind of had the same anxiety about she didn't want to sound uneducated. She didn't want to sound like she didn't know what she was talking about. And I said, listen to books on audio, because when you're hearing, it's just like when you are learning to read and speak in the human language, when you read the words. So I guess it's reading the book too. But for me, it's the audio and listening to it, because it's going into my subconscious and I'm hearing how phrases are said, not just me reading them, right? Okay. Reading is for spelling, good spelling. Audio, hearing how things are said in normal conversation, right? Does that make sense to anybody? I thought I was so onto it and so smart for that, because it makes complete sense to me. So I'm wondering if that makes sense to anybody else. So nonfiction book, having conversations, like reaching out to people that are not just sitting around with babies, I guess. I don't know. I'm lucky to have Rick. His mind never shuts down. And so he's constantly like thinking of different things, and he's constantly reading these kinds of books. So he's constantly having conversations like this with me. And honestly, sometimes to the point where I can't even keep up. So I'm like, whoa, overwhelmed. Okay. All right. So let's get back to this. So time management, another thing of time management that I love to dwell on, and you've heard it before, is not going to the grocery store 3 times a week. Make your list, get in, get out, be done. So B, I don't even go in the store. What a waste of time. Sometimes it's kind of nice to just like lazily wander through, but that's what you're doing. So that's back to the spelling here. That's killing your budget, because you're getting things that aren't on your list that you don't necessarily need. And also it's wasting your time, right? They have all of these wonderful things now that you can just order your groceries and they'll put them in your car for you. Boom. Easy enough. You're not making emotional buys. You're not spending extra money, and you're getting in, getting out, and getting on with your day. That's wonderful time management. All right. What else? What else did I have for you? I think that's it. I wanted to see if I could do this without writing a full page of notes to keep myself on topic. But the point is, I just really, really, really want to make the point is that, ladies, it's all about habits, and not falling into these habits that are taking us backwards rather than moving forward. I've got this member who she is so excited that she gets to have one extra day in the week, that she gets to just be home with her little boy. And he's young, he's 10 months old. And she's so excited for it. And I'm so excited for her that that's one extra day that she's not at work, but one more day that she gets to be at home with him. And I said to her, I am so excited for you to do this. Please do not forget about the skills that you've learned at your job, running a business. Do not forget those skills. Bring them into the home with you. They have a place. Don't just think about this as completely being separate, because it's not. You need to be scheduled. You need to have your planner. You need to have a game plan. You need to have, right? These are all things that are going to make your life so much easier. And it's basically going to turn into you running your home, You are the CEO running your business, your home, rather than drowning in it and not being able to keep up and feeling like you're failing, right? Because you can't keep up with the laundry, or you can't keep up with the schedules of the day, right? Because you're constantly running behind because you haven't put it in the planner, or you haven't set a timer, an alarm in your phone. So you're like, oh, you forgot about it. If you write it down, Rick will die when I say this, because if you write it down, you won't forget. It's there. You've written it down. It's there. You live by it, right? This is basically I'm not being blasphemous. This is your Bible. This is your CEO home Bible, right? Not your religious Bible. Okay. We're not going there. Anyway, ladies, thank you so much. We made it through December with the 4 core categories. Let's see, beliefs, bonds, body, biz. Okay. These are your 4 core categories that will help you structure your life in a way that you're not going to let down one of those. You're not going to drop one of those spinning plates, right? If you've got all of these spinning plates going and one slows down, you're going to give it more attention, right? Maybe it's in your body category. You're going to give it more attention. You're feeling off. Your alignment's not right. Maybe it's in your home life is starting to be a little chaotic and it's cluttered, and you're going to start spinning that plate more, right? These are your 4 core categories that are going to keep you in alignment with setting goals, tracking these goals, and working towards a more fulfilled life, right? And more happy life, because you're not constantly falling behind in areas of your life that you shouldn't be, right? Thank you so much. I will remind you again, I'm so sorry to rate and review this podcast, please. Let's keep this message going and growing, and come check us out over at revitalizewomanhood.com. Again, that planner will be up on the site soon. It's actually in pre-sale right now. I'm working on my store for the website, revitalizewomanhood.com right now. So stay tuned, watch for that. I will keep you posted. Thanks for joining me today, ladies.